Another thing you want to avoid in debate is coming off as overconfident or too aggressive or sometimes even arrogant. The way you do this is you realize every time you go up to speak, the entire room, including your opponents and even including your teammates, are always reestablishing an impression about you. With that being said, you want to be cordial to others, show good peer leadership by helping others when they're in times of need, and also expressing your point confidently, but not to a point where it might make anyone else feel bad about themselves. When you're responding to arguments, there's 4 steps that we use to effectively take out an argument entirely. The first technique that we use is known as signposting. Signposting lets everybody in the room know what argument you're responding to in the first place. This requires a quick summary of the argument that you're responding to before you actually attack it. So you would paraphrase the argument in the words that the original speaker said, and then move on to responding it, which is step 2. Step 2 is when you provide what's known as a counterclaim, or in that counterclaim, you are directly answering the argument and explaining why that argument has pertinence in the round. Then step 3 is where you provide a counter warrant. If you have evidence at the time that you could use to take out the original point, you would introduce that evidence here on after you go ahead and explain and preface the argument or explain it ahead of time. The last technique that you do for step 4 is known as weighing the argument. Once you have signposted the original argument, let everybody know what your argument against it is, shown evidence and support for that argument, then you explain why your argument is uniquely better than the original argument in the first place.